Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2 Unit 3 review. Remember to show all your work and circle your final answers. Let's go ahead and get this party started. Number 1, got to solve for x. So we're going to start by subtracting that 6 and getting it to the other side. And now we have 5 over 3x equals 41 minus 6 is 35. Now, to get rid of a fraction, we need to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, excuse me, we can do this two ways. We can multiply across and then divide, or we can pretend that that's over 1 and look to see if we can reduce our fraction, which I like to do. Okay, so the 5 changes into a 1, the 35 changes into a 7, and then you multiply straight across. 7 times 3, we get 21. Okay, so x equals 21 is your final answer. Going to put a box on it. And then if you, I believe Ms. Carranza handed out a little review of answer sheets. That's what I'm looking at right now. So I'm crossing out 21, which is in the bottom left corner. Okay. All right, number 2. We need to distribute, and we have to distribute twice. Okay. So when we do that, we get 12m minus 21 plus 8 equals 12m plus 30. Okay. Now on the left side, we can combine like terms, and we get negative 13 equals 12m plus 30. Now the next step is to get your variables to one side. So I'm going to subtract 12m and subtract, but both of those cancel. And when both of those cancels, you're left with negative 13 equals 30, which is a false statement. So the answer to this is no solution. Okay. Sorry, I'm crossing out no solution on my answer sheet, so I know not to use it again. Okay, number 3. Number 3, we want to get rid of the decimals. I don't like working with decimals. I don't know if you guys do or not. So what number can we multiply to cancel everything by? Well, we would multiply by 100. So we have to move everything over 2 decimal places. So we get 60 plus 13 equals 31. And guys, from here, this should be extremely easy for you to solve. You need to subtract 13 to both sides, and you're left with 60 equals 18. To get the d by itself, we divide by 6, and then we're left with d equals 3. There it is. I was getting freaked out for a second there. Like, I thought I did it wrong. All right, number 4. Okay, now we're kind of going to do the same thing, but to get rid of the fractions, we're going to multiply by the lowest common denominator for all of those guys. And it's nice because it's actually 8. Okay, so off to the side, if you need to do your side work, 8 over 1 times 3 over 8, you get 24 over 8. And when you divide it, you get 3. So we got 3x minus, hopefully you can take half of 8. Half of 8 is 4. Okay, 8 over 1 times 1 over 8 is 8 over 8, which is the same thing as 1. Plus 8 over 1 times 3 over 4. We just did 8 times 3, which is 24. 24 divided by 4 is 6. And now we can solve, okay? So we want to move the smaller variable, which is the 1x, and then we get 2x minus 4 equals 6. Add 4 to both sides. We get 2x equals 10, and then divide both sides by 2. We get x equals 5. All right, number 5. We want to solve for y. So there we go. Now remember, the first thing we want to do is get that x to the other side, okay? So we then have 5n minus x squared equals 3y. So once again, to get the y by itself, we're going to divide, and then we can leave our answer just like that. The 5n minus x squared divided by 3 equals y. And we can leave it like that because nothing really reduces inside. Okay, so y equals 5n minus x squared, all divided by 3. All right, number 6. Number 6, we have a proportion, and we want to cross multiply. So we're going to multiply the 10 times the 4m minus 1, and that's going to equal our 6 times 6m. So on the right side, we get 40m minus 1 equals 36m. Okay, so to get the m by itself, oh, I know what I just did right there. It's at 1. Got to distribute, Mr. Grice. It's 10. Okay, so I'm going to subtract the 36m because I want to move the smaller variable. And we get 4m minus 10 equals 0, because there's nothing left on that side. Okay, but we have to add 10 to both sides because now we're solving for m. 4m equals 10, and then we divide by 4. Always, always, always reduce your answer. Okay, you can divide both of those by 2, and you're left with 5 over 2. All right, I'm feeling pretty good, guys. I'm 6 for 6 so far. All right. Number 7. Sean planted 21 rows of daffodils and roses in the local garden. He planted twice as many rows of daffodils as he did roses. How many of each one did he plant? So we have daffodils and roses. Now, we know that they're both X, but which one did he plant twice as many? Daffodils. So the daffodils are 2X, and then we're going to add those together, and that's going to equal 21. You can combine your like terms, and you get 3X divide by 3, and we get that X equals 7. Okay? And now, the key thing from that part is which is which. So we have 7 rows of roses, and then twice as many, so that's 14. Remember, always box your answers. I'm lucky I can box and highlight them in multiple colors. All right, find the measure of the missing angles. And we got 2 missing angles right here, okay? So, a couple things we need to know. I see a right angle. Right angle is always 90 degrees, okay? The sum of a triangle, if I take all of these angles plus 2x plus 90, all 3 of those equal 180 degrees, okay? So let's start by combining your like terms. 3x and 2x is 5x plus 95 equals 180, okay? And now what we have to do, solve for x. Subtract 95 to both sides. 180 minus 95, I need to borrow, so I get a 5. That turns to a 7. And 9 minus 17 is 85. Divide both sides by 5. That's on your multiplication chart. And you get x equals 17. Okay, that's not your answer, guys. Your answer now is you have to plug in 3 times 17 plus 5 and 2 times 17 to find the measure of angle A and the measure of angle B. B ends up being 34 degrees in that first one. You get 56. Okay, number 9. Go ahead and read number 9. A pair of pants is on sale for 15% off. So right away, you need to subtract those to figure out the percent that you're actually paying for, and that's 85%. You always want that number as a decimal. And so if the pants regularly cost $80, I want 0.85 times 80. Now I put the 80 on the bottom because when you multiply that 0, it's just 0 for everything. And now I can just start multiplying the 8. 8 times 5 is 40. Carry the 4. 8 times 8 is 64. Plus 4 is 68. I have 2 numbers behind the decimal, so I want to make sure there are 2 numbers behind the decimal. And remember, we're talking about money, so this is, you would end up paying $68 for the pants. Always make sure that you label your answer. Okay, number 10. It says the sum of 3 consecutive integers is 276. So we have number 1, number 2, and number 3. So we always want to use the same variable for everything. And if they're consecutive, that means they're next to each other. So we have x, x plus 1, and x plus 2. We've talked about that multiple times in class, guys. So you add all those up, and we want that to equal 276. So let's combine your like terms. How many x's do you have? All 3x, and then 1 plus 2 is 3 equals 276. And now we just solve for x. Subtract 3 to both sides. 3x equals 273. Divide by 3, and if you can't do that, off to the side, you should be doing 273 divided by 3. Well, 3 goes into 2, nope, but it goes into 27 9 times. and 3 goes into 3 once. So our 3 consecutive numbers, well, our first number is 91. And then the next 2 numbers that are next to it. So 91, 92, and 93. All right. If 7 bananas cost $1.75, how much would 12 of the same bananas cost? Okay, so we're talking about 2 things, bananas and money. Okay, so 7 bananas cost $1.75. We set up a proportion to figure everything out. Okay, so when we cross multiply, we get 7x equals, you gotta do 175 times 12. That's not on your multiplication chart. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1, 15. 2 times 1 plus 2. Put the 0 to hold the place value. 1 times 5, 1 times 7, and 1 times 1. Add those numbers up. Okay, we get 21. Since it's $21, you don't really need to do that. You can if you want to. I'm going to skip that part. To solve for x, you divide by 7. And we get that x would equal 3. And the key thing is to know that you're talking about dollars. So your final answer needs to have that dollar sign. All right, number 12. Our favorite types of questions. All right, so Mary is driving east at a speed of 50 miles per hour when she passes Mike, who's going west at 65 miles per hour. How long will it be until their distance between them is 460 miles? Okay, so we know that Mary is driving her car and she's going 50 miles per hour. And we talked about that, how it's 50 t because we're using distance equals rate times time. Okay. Now Mike, he's on the other side. He gets to drive a pickup truck. Isn't that a beautiful pickup truck? Guys, this is why I'm not an artist. Okay. And he's driving a rate at 65 t. So we want to know when altogether it's 460 miles. So we take Mike's speed plus Mary's speed, and when does that equal 460? Okay, so add those 2 numbers together, you get 115t equals 460, and just divide by 115. Okay, and now to get your answer, well, we have to guess how many times. So I'm going to guess 3. Well, 3 times 5 is 15, carry 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. Oh, it's not 3. Let's try 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6, and 4. So we get 460. So we get our answer of 4 hours. Okay. So there's the front page. We're going to pause it right there and stop this video. And then video 2 will go through the back side. Thanks for watching, guys.